microphone, or can I just talk?
Oh, it's on if you speak up.
All right, I can speak up. That I can do.
Good.
Put on the teacher voice. Got it.
That's it.
Good evening. Shabbat Shalom. My name is Cheryl Brown, and on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Congregation BethChaim, it is an honor to welcome all of you here this evening. We want to maintain a warm and welcome feeling for these services and create a sacred space that will inspire prayer. Please help us by turning off your cell phones. For the benefit of those who cannot be here in the sanctuary, we live stream our services, and our photographer posts pictures on social media. Please see an usher or board member if you do not wish for your image to appear, and we ask that no one else take pictures during this sacred hour. For those who wear hearing aids with a T-coil setting, you'll be able to access our new hearing loop using this setting. Headphones for those who do not have compatible hearing aids and large print prayer books are available near the sanctuary entrances. Shabbat Shalom.
Our service will begin at the bottom of page 330. It's a one-liner, Ma Yafeh Hayom. Bottom of page 330. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. A few brief words about what we will be sharing together in addition to the joy of Shabbat, the opportunity to set aside the balagan, the craziness of our lives, and to take a deep breath and to give thanks for what blessings we have in our life, to give thanks for the gift of Shabbat, the joy of Shabbat, and all of the blessings that we can give to one another. In addition, as you know, this is the Shabbat leading to Veterans Day, and later on in our service, we'll have an opportunity to be inspired by and to give honor to those of you who have served. In addition, because I know that it can be jarring to see and not understand why, there is a memorial candle that was lit before services begin. Tomorrow night, the night of November 9th, becomes the 80th anniversary, the 80th year since Kristallnacht, the night of shattered glass. As many of you know, it is the night where there were orchestrated acts of horror and vandalism inflicted upon our people, the shops owned by Jews throughout the Third Reich. Many scholars consider that to be the official or unofficial beginning of the Shoah, of the Holocaust. This coming Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we will observe Kristallnacht as a community through music and prayer. But for tonight, we wanted to make sure, because it is the Shabbat and tomorrow is the anniversary, to light a memorial candle, and later on in our service when we prepare for Mourner's Kaddish, to share a few words in memory. With that, we return to the task at hand, which is to celebrate Shabbat and to celebrate the joy that we have together. We prepare and continue on pages 2 and 3 as we invite our Banot Mitzvah for the weekend, Alyssa Baskin, accompanied by her parents, Mara and David, Sydney Davis, accompanied by her parents, Jennifer and Giles, to the honor of lighting Shabbat candles.
Page 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And we'll continue on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'b'ratzon hikilanu, zikaro le'maaseh Bereshit, Ki hu yom techilah lemikra kodesh, zecher netziat Mitzrayim, Imanu b'charta, ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava u'b'ratzon, hilchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat.
Chaim. Well, it's up to all of you.
I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life.
The bottom of page 6, we read together, May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We continue on pages 20 and 21 as we greet Shabbat with the words and melody of Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, ונשבע לקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, ונשבע לקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושם ותפארת ונתילה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, ונשבע לקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, ונשבע לקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם ניסוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, ונשבע לקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, ונשבע לקבלה. Verse 5, התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, ונשבע לקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, ונשבע לקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, ונשבע לקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, ונשבע לקבלה.
There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nivarech, let us bless, as we continue on page 26 with Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. ya la la, ya la la la, la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruchu et Adonai Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed Ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בדברו מעריב על אביב מעריב על אביב You called the world into being and spread all the stars in the heavens above You made the morning and evening surrounding us daily signs of your love. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv al aviv ma'ariv al aviv.
Page 32.
Avat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Avta Amcha Avta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shokbeinu v'tumenu nasiach b'chukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה נגה יומם ולילה ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם לעולם ועד ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Page 38, we continue together in the English. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and Savior, who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You perform miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נור תהילות אוסף אליהן, נורא תהילות אוסף אליהן, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כיפד אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. Times I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom, Vehamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom, Vehamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim.
page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים, את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Friends, we continue on page 46 as we prepare to spiritually enter God's inner sanctum with the prayer Amidah, the standing prayer, page 46. We rise together.
Na 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 Adonai, na 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 Fatai Tika, na 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 Ufi agi tehilatecha, Ufi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמנתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. As we continue on page 55, together at the top of the page, may these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Together in the middle of page 57, you are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, shotacha levadacha, v'yir'ah na'avod.
We have so many things to be thankful for all of our freedoms and those who have defended it, for our very lives. If there's anything for which you are particularly grateful today, please let us know. We'll call on you in a word or a sentence. Let us know what that is. Yes? Mm-hmm. More? All right. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach. Any others? Yes.
I'm grateful that we got a Shabbat Shalom and a picture of our daughter at Hillel tonight.
Ah, very nice.
One child celebrated a birthday. So that's always good at that year. I'm grateful.
Yes. Ooh, mazel tov. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach. Oh, more. Yes. Ah. Anyone else? All right, together one more time. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach.
Birkat Shalom, the blessing for peace, is found on page 60.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Sim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Sim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Sim Leolam. V'tov b'necha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Sim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Sim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai Amvarech et amo Yisrael Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We continue with silent prayer and meditation.
Ratzon imrefi vegion libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai tzuri bekoali
Eternal God, we come before you with open heart, with open mind, as we yearn for refuah shlema, complete and a speedy recovery for so many in our community who seek wholeness of mind, of body, and of soul. As we reach out to you, eternal God, we commit ourselves to partner with you, to bring comfort and inspiration and hope to our family, to our friends, and to those around us who seek wholeness. And we ask that you will join with us to provide those same beautiful blessings. Eternal God, our prayers on this Shabbat join together with Rhoda Schwartz, Arlene Grable, Teddy Molaski, Nathan Hecker, Jeff Stoller, Claire Meyer, William Jackasola, Zahava Bat Rivka, Gail Newman, Steve Bizanov, Marion Berman, Jim Brown, and with those who we invite you to add to our list, that we may join together with you in prayer. May all whose names have been said aloud, those who remain in our hearts and all throughout this world, who seek wholeness, come to know refuah shlema, complete and a speedy recovery. As we continue with Misha Berach, the words found on the screen before us.
Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak veYaakov. Mי שברך אמותינו, שרה רבקה לאה ורחל. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your love. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mishaberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Mishaberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
Friends, we continue on the bottom of page 258. So I invite you to stand together as we offer this blessing with one voice on behalf of our country. Please rise. Together, O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. Please be seated. Colonel Stephen J. First served in the United States Army from 1984 to 2014. He gave 30 years in service of our country. He had a distinguished career serving as a battalion executive officer and a number of other positions related to Army medical care. Colonel First received an array of medals and awards, including the Meritorious Service Medal, 4th Oak Leaf Cluster, Army Commendation Medal, 8th Oak Leaf Cluster, Army Achievement Medal, 4th Oak Leaf Cluster, and many other medals and awards. Steve, as we know him, has been a member of Beth Chaim for many years, and now we are blessed to count you as a leader of this sacred community. Steve serves on our board. He is the chair of our security committee, and recently he accepted the position of chair of the search committee for our new executive director. Personally, I feel privileged to know Steve and to be inspired by your strength of conviction, by your desire to make a difference in this world, and by your commitment to this sacred community. Friends, it is my great honor to invite Colonel First to share a few words about his story as we continue to honor our veterans of our community.
Evening. All right. 2 weeks ago, Rabbi Beal approached me about his desire to honor veterans during an upcoming Shabbat service. That'd be this one. And he wanted to talk with me about it. Since I'm a veteran, I thought he had some ideas that he would want to bounce off of me. So I figured, why not? I can go in and listen to what he has to say. Now, what's going through my mind? Here's a view from my foxhole. He said honor veterans, and I have to tell you that made me feel a bit uneasy. I'm thinking he was going to bring veterans up on the bema and publicly thank us for our service. Now, stuff like that gives me a weird feeling. While I appreciate people thanking me, and I understand where it comes from, it always leaves me wondering and debating with myself of whether or not I deserve their thanks. After all, I believe that I was just doing my job. And when the word hero gets thrown in there, that brings a whole new level. I certainly don't think I'm a hero. I also haven't quite figured out actually how to respond to people who say thank you to me. Do I say thank you or you're welcome? As it turned out, Rabbi Beal asked me to talk about my experience being a Jew in the military. Something that I had never actually considered, and I told him so. He said, think about it, and that he expected that I should be able to talk for about an hour and a half. Okay, now a little context. Before my journey in the Army began, I was not much of a Jew, and I only bothered with whatever holiday I managed to be home for. But once I went off, I very rarely went home, and my Jewish identity would merely sneak into my head, and upon consideration, more than I would have thought. Now, the Army is full of believers. I was surrounded by them. But I was usually the only Jew. And most of the large units had dedicated chapel and an assigned chaplain, who invariably was a Christian in one form or another. And in my entire career, I had never encountered a Jewish chaplain. Whenever we were in the field, conducting exercises that spanned a weekend, there always was time set aside for non-denominational services. Of course, all these non-denominational services centered on the New Testament. There are always little camouflaged New Testament Bibles readily available. Those were the times when my Jewish identity snuck in, when I was reminded that I was the lone Jew. My first assignment, I'm not actually going to go through all of them, so just relax. As a medical platoon leader for the 1st Battalion, 9th Infantry Regiment, 7th Infantry Division, Fort Ord, California, I ran a battalion aid station. The battalion chaplain, on the one occasion when he took part in a few days of an exercise instead of just showing up on Sunday, was based with us, and I was assigned to look after him. I'm sure you've all watched war movies that show the chaplain conducting quick outdoor services and performing last rites. Well, I saw those movies too. And that about sums it up, actually. Although caring for the dead and dying was never actually a training scenario, be that as it may, for those few days he spent with us gave me an opportunity to talk to him. As you might imagine, the subject of my religion came up. He didn't really have much to say on that subject, but I was curious what he did for dying or dead Jewish soldiers. He simply said that he had been trained to say the right words. I left that right there. I just assumed he was talking about the Kaddish. I didn't know if there were other rituals, still don't. But at the time, I wasn't sure if that gave me a warm and fuzzy. This chaplain also told me that a group of Jewish soldiers got together on Friday nights at one of the unassigned chapels. A few months later, I decided to check it out, not even sure why. I suppose deep down, I felt like something was missing. So I showed up, and it was basically a cookie-cutter, run-of-the-mill Army chapel. The guys just took down a cross that was over the altar and stood in the corner. There was no Torah. There were a couple of guys, and a few of them had books, and they conducted their version of a service. They did what they could. With the op-tempo, you never know who would show up week to week. It was hit or miss. I gave them credit for trying to make it work given the circumstances. Not sure how many times I went, but I suspect you can count them on a couple fingers. I didn't get a lot out of it, and a Friday night not being in the field was nice, and recreation took priority over Shabbat. And religion seemed to be a popular topic of conversation during those long hours in the field. Guys would often talk about it when they got bored, And I didn't want to be involved in it since they were talking the gospel, which I knew nothing about. And I was an undercover Jew. I knew many soldiers who had never met a Jew, and I didn't want to be there first. It was easier to let stereotypical comments slide than to confront them. I knew that for the most part, they were not saying it to be mean or anti-Semitic. They didn't know better, and we had a tougher skin back then. Now, once, when we were conducting an exercise for ambulance crews, they were equipped with a map, a compass, and a grid coordinate, and they had to come to get 4 of us who were acting as simulated casualties. I suspected that we would be out there for a long time. Got a bit boring after our tired old jokes ran out, and the gospel debate began. I decided to get the ball rolling. I said, hey guys, I never went to Sunday school, so what do they mean by the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit? Thought there was only one God. And they were off. The debate began. Slipped away, took a nap under a tree, and waited for the ambulance crew. Several hours later, when the ambulance had arrived, they were still arguing about it. They had never even noticed that I had walked away. Incidentally, the ambulance crew failed their exercise. As the years rolled along, my Jewishness snuck into my head routinely several times a year. The holidays. As the holidays came and went, I would think about them, wondering what I should do about celebrating, especially for the high holy days. Invariably, the answer was nothing. I will do nothing about them. I was not affiliated with a local synagogue. I had no Jewish friends. And often the holidays came on work days or during training exercise. So thinking about them is how I celebrated. Thinking about what I did as a child, or what my family was doing, or who would be at the Seder, or lighting the menorah, or the crowds at the synagogue to hear the final shofar. And perhaps a bit of self-imposed Jewish guilt over not fasting. As the years piled up, I stayed quite disconnected, till my daughter was born. Well, actually, more like until she turned 8. Lots of reasons, won't get into here. I wanted to do Hanukkah with her, and finding candles for the menorah was not as easy as it had been when I was a kid in Brooklyn. They were not on the shelf at the grocery store in Utica, New York. Sought out a local temple to see if I can get some there. Found a conservative temple, and the rabbi I met there happened to be a retired reserve Jewish chaplain. Like, how cool is that? Rabbi Colonel retired Stanley Gertstein. He was an interesting man, and I enjoyed talking to him. I got the impression that during his career as a reserve Jewish chaplain, he really enjoyed the Army, but didn't meet up with too many Jewish soldiers. We had become friends. He liked talking to a fellow Jewish officer. We talked about the Army and about God. As I mentioned, Temple was conservative, and he saw that I wanted no part of that. It was more of the same that caused me to stay away from my Jewish roots. I guess he saw that, and he said, this is a conservative temple, but you don't have to be a conservative Jew. He explained that because it was a conservative temple, he had to toe the conservative line. But for me, and a lot of others, he said, if you don't believe God split the Red Sea, then he didn't. If you don't believe the oil lasted for 8 days, then it didn't. Understand the Torah for what it teaches. To be a good Jew, you just need to be a good person. And incidentally, if you don't want to believe in God, don't. It's not a requirement. I wish I had met Rabbi Gerstein many years earlier, and of course, many years later, Rabbi Wisnia's, Rabbi Blum's, Rabbi Beal's message reminded me of Rabbi Gerstein. Now, by this time in my career, I was the guy that was making the schedule, and I did what I could to ensure that no training was scheduled over the Jewish holidays. When the high holy days came around, I left work and attended services in my uniform. My daughter went to Hebrew school and later had a bat mitzvah. Not even sure how that happened, but I suspect Rabbi Gerstein had a lot to do with it. Now, during the War on Terror, I went to Operation Enduring Freedom, and while I was there, Operation Iraqi Freedom kicked off. It was an interesting time, being quite busy and working long hours. There really wasn't time for much else. But I was aware that there was a designated space for a chapel, since we had used it as a large meeting space on several occasions. There were several Christian chaplains assigned, and again, the non-denominational services and camouflage Bibles, although now they were desert pattern. Nothing Jewish, nothing unusual, but one of the chaplains told me that being in an Arab country might have had something to do with it. Not sure if I believe that. I suspect it was about availability. I hope those chaplains knew the words. When I was posted to Hawaii, I found out Pearl Harbor had a Jewish chapel, Aloha Jewish Chapel, which was the first freestanding Jewish chapel built by the U.S. government for Jewish service members in 1975. During my time on Hawaii, the chapel was never open because they did not have an assigned Jewish chaplain. I was a bit upset by this because after my time with Rabbi Gerstein, I was looking forward to being part of the congregation. When I looked up temples in the Yellow Pages, there were many, just not Jewish ones. Actually, there was one, but it was quite a distance from where I was, and if you've ever been on Oahu, you know that you measure distance not by space, but by time. Never try to transverse Honolulu, it's not cool. Incidentally, in 2008, after I left Hawaii, a new Torah was purchased and dedicated at the Aloha Chapel. It was the first new Torah to be dedicated in the state of Hawaii. Several years later, close to retirement, I met my wife, and the rest is history. Well, actually, it's all history. This is just recent history. Now, not sure if there are any takeaways from this story, but I suspect that for me, a good reason, good rabbi, and a good spouse are all you need to be connected to Judaism. But for me, in my time served, there wasn't enough of either of those things. Thank you.
Stand here. Thank you, my friend, for making your story for us so accessible and inspiring and real, because those of us who haven't served will never understand, but to be inspired by and to be part of your journey is an honor, and for all you continue to bring to this Jewish community. Maybe we can add to your title, Rabbi, one day, who knows? By the way, I think you owe us another hour of a sermon, so we may take you up on that.
Okay, just put it on account.
Have a seat for just a minute. A few words of Torah as we prepare to invite our veterans to the Bima. This week's Torah portion, Lech Lecha, begins with Abraham receiving his command from his higher authority. He is told, go forth. Go forth from your country, go forth from your hometown, go forth from your parents' home to the land that I will show you. And so Abraham, or Avram as he's called at the time, sets out on that journey with Sarai and family. A journey there he does not know what is to come, one that will be filled with danger and with the unknown on this journey to a promised land. In a lot of ways, the veterans who we will invite to honor in a few moments, you all set out on your journey as well, with that same sense of commandedness, so to speak, that same sense of the unknown, and needing that same passion and commitment which Avram displays in this week's portion. And we're told by the great commentator Rashi, the medieval commentator, that the order that Avram is given is counterintuitive to the order that we would expect. We're told that he is to go forth from his country, from his hometown, from his parents' home, and yet we know that if one goes on a journey, first you have to leave home, then you leave your hometown, then you leave your country. And Rashi explains that that is because this is not about his physical journey, but rather about his spiritual journey, about his emotional journey. Because first, when one leaves one's country, it's difficult enough. To leave your hometown, ever the more so, but to leave the comfort of your own home, especially at a young age, that, of course, is the most difficult. And again, I'm sure that those who we honor tonight understand that message, because many of you left your home at a young age with that courage and that had to have been a modicum of fear of the unknown. But thanks to you, like thanks to Avram, we are blessed. We are blessed by what you have brought us. We are blessed by our freedom, which we owe to each of you. For all that each of you has given, thank you. For the privilege that many of our children can live without the fear and actually taking their freedoms for granted, thanks to you. Thank you. And for all who you protected and defended with your lives, we offer your thanks. We invite to the Bima at this time all who have served in the military, those who are veterans, and those who may be currently serving, accompanied by any members of your family who may be with you. Please join us on the Bima at this time. Veterans in front facing us and family members behind you. Come on. Veterans up front, family members behind you. Veterans across the front, family members behind you. We rise together. Compassionate God, source of mercy, we pay tribute to those who have served our country, to express our gratitude for their courage and selflessness, both those among us today and those of generations past. This nation, built by those born of this soil and those who have come here from all the corners of the earth, is on a continual journey toward its destiny. May we never let down those who have served in defense of this country. May we uphold the values of freedom, of the inherent dignity of every human being by our own right conduct, by the kindness and tolerance we show to one another. May we lead the world by example and become, in the words of Isaiah, a light unto the nations. Then will the labors and sacrifices of our veterans be honored not in words alone, but by our deeds. To each of you who have served with honor and courage, to each of you who has brought blessing not only to our community and to our country, but to our people and to your family and friends. We are grateful, we salute you, we respect you, we honor you, and we are grateful for you. May our children and our grandchildren learn from your example to love country and to love God, to love one another. And so we have wrapped you in the talit Talit is a symbol of many things. The one that I love is that it reminds us of the wings of the Shekhinah, the arms of God that can surround us and touch us and hold us and protect us. And so as we surround you, we ask that God's blessing will be upon each of you today and each day going forward. As we invoke the blessing first offered by Aaron and his sons on the top of Sinai, passed down through the generations, I ask that God's blessing will be with each of you and with your loved ones each and every day.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
May God bless you and protect you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May God's countenance be upon you, and may God's blessing be with you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
May God's eyes look upon you always as they do at this sacred moment. And may God bless you, your family, your people, and all peoples of this world with God's greatest gift of all, the gift that each of you defended, the gift of peace.
Amen.
Friends, our service continues on page 282. We remain standing. We invite our veterans to please remain with us for just a moment to have the honor of standing before the ark for Alenu as we face the ark. Page 282.
עלינו לשבח אדון הכל, התן גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נותן שמיים ויוצר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושבילתו זו בגבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Please be seated. Friends, in the middle of page 292, as I shared to begin our worship, tomorrow night commemorates the 80th anniversary of Kristallnacht. Again, at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, we will honor and commemorate that infamous day in history and talk a little bit more about it in detail. On this Shabbat, we have Kristallnacht, and the love of peace as part of our hearts. We have lived in numberless towns and villages, and in too many of them we have endured cruel suffering. Some we have forgotten, Others are sealed in our memory, a wound that does not heal. 100 generations of victims and martyrs, still their blood cries out from the earth. And so many at Dachau, at Buchenwald, at Baba Yar. What can we say? What can we do? How bear the unbearable or accept what life has brought to our people? All who are born must die, but how shall we compare the slow passage of time with the callous slaughter of the innocent cut off before their time? They lived with faith, not all but many, and surely many died with faith in God, in life, in the goodness that even flames cannot destroy. May we find a way to the strength of that faith, that trust, that sure sense that life and soul endure beyond this body's death. They have let their lives to us. Let a million prayers rise whenever Jews worship. Let a million candles glow against the darkness of these unfinished lives. May their memories continue to bring blessing long after their time on earth, just as we pray that the lives of those who we honor this night, our own family and friends and members of our sacred community, that their lives will continue to bring blessing to all who knew them and to all who loved them, and today to all eternity. As we say aloud the names of loved ones who are no longer with us, with the mentioning of your family or friend, we invite you to please rise as we join you in honoring them. On this Shabbat, we continue in the period of Shiva, the 7 days since death, as we honor a member of our congregation, Jack Brandner, the husband of Susan Brandner, father of Andrea and Jacqueline. Shiva continues at the Brandner home through Tuesday with Minyanim, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday evenings. Continue in the period of 30 days since death as we honor Stanley Weinberg, the father of Jeff Weinberg, and Mary Mitzi Birnbaum, the grandmother of Lisa Burns. On this Shabbat, we honor the memories of our loved ones whose yahrzeit is honored on this Shabbat. So we recall with love Philip Bransky, Erwin Ruttman, Morton Barbarash, Fred Sobel, Hyman Hellerman, Sonia Soul, Helen Jacobs, Edward Brandt, Bernard Chernev, Leonard Kalman, Harold Goldkrantz, Morris Goldman, Betty Hoogstraw, Saul Letzer, Percy Lightman, Esther Litwin, Samuel Nelson, Norman Knapp, Clara Reese, Morris Balbreski, Emmanuel Rosen, Esther Grinbau, Harry Rosenberg, Judith Schwartz, Alexander Sherman, Rose Borstein, Judith Sadowski, Esther Nathanson, Bessie Weinstein, Doris Barkhan, Edith Goldstein, Ida Oldstein, Max Weitzman. If there's anyone else observing Shiva Shloshim or a yahrzeit and a name has not been yet said, we invite you to please rise and say the name of your loved one. In loving honor of all whose names have been said aloud, those who remain in our hearts, and all who no longer have anyone to recall their memory, we invite the entire congregation to please rise alongside our mourners as an act of love and support. As we share Kaddish Tome, page 294. Yit Gadal v'Yikadash Shemei Rabbah, v'Almad yivrachu Utei v'Yamlich Malchutei, v'Chaye Echon Yom Echon, v'Chaye D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'Zman Kariv Imru. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'Yishtabach v'Yipar v'Yitramam v'Yitnaseh, v'Yitadar v'Yitaleh v'Yitalal Shemei D'Kedusha, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, Ta'amiran ba'alma v'imru. Yehei shalom araba min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Oseh shalom b'imramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to this entire world, as together we say. Please be seated.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us this evening. I would like to offer our appreciation to the ushers and Oneg hosts and hostesses for their help tonight. We would like to also take a moment to thank the families of Sydney Davis and Alyssa Baskin for sponsoring the Oneg in honor of their children joining the ranks of B'nai Mitzvah. This Wednesday at 7 p.m., please join us to commemorate Kristallnacht, the Night of Broken Glass, with a service and music featuring the West Windsor-Plainsboro High School North Choir and String Ensemble. Did you know one blood donation could potentially save 3 lives? The Men's Club is sponsoring their Fall Blood Drive on November 17th. Please sign up to donate at redcrossblood.com. For more information about upcoming activities, please see the signs on the Oneg tables and the magazine rack outside the main office.
We continue out of here, page 349. At the bottom of page 349, you will find a short poem by Israeli poet Hannah Senesh. Hannah Senesh was born in Hungary. Before the State of Israel existed, she emigrated to what was then the British Mandate of Palestine in 1939. 2 years later, she enlisted in the Haganah, the group that would eventually become the Israeli Defense Force. And during the Second World War, she parachuted into Yugoslavia with 36 other special operations recruits to assist the anti-Nazi underground and to rescue Hungarian Jews being sent to Auschwitz. Senesh was captured, tortured, and eventually executed by the Nazis, but never gave up details of her mission. She is considered in Israel a national hero. We continue at the bottom of page 349, the words of Hannah Senesh, Eli, Eli. Eli, shelo yigamer leolam, achol vehayam, rish rush shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, tfilat ha'adam, achol vehayam, rish rush shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, tfilat ha'adam. Oh God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart.
Okay, Sydney and Alyssa, that moment you've been waiting for, come on up. This is where I give you your final test. If you're right, you get to become bat mitzvah tomorrow. And the colors coming back to their face slowly. If you would please have the honor. Friends, we rise together. Take the cover off the challah. Grab the challah. Grab it.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
The ladies will help distribute the challah on your way to the oneg in the interim. We invite you to please put your arms around a loved one. Reach out a hand to a friend. Reach out a hand to make a new friend. Eternal God, we stand before you in thanksgiving for all of our blessings in life, for the love of family, for the support that comes from being part of sacred community, for the beauty of your creation that unfolds before us each and every day. We offer you our thanks and our praise. Eternal God, we give our thanks to those who have served and continue to serve our country. May their inspiration, may their deeds continue to bring blessing each and every day. We invoke your name, eternal God, as we ask that your blessing will be with each of us, our family, our friends throughout the community and the world during Shabbat and the days to come.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless us and protect us.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May God's countenance shine upon us and be gracious to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom.
May God's presence always be with us, and may God grant us the blessing of peace.
Amen. Amen. Amen.